Okay, perfect. So, what do you call this seminar is mainly some of you all already know, and for those who don't know, I'll just give you a rough idea. Some of the schools, I think, couple of schools, sorry, majority of the schools, they're having the exam, the first term exam next week. So, target the first term exam only, we're going to discuss questions today. So, I have here a past paper. It's as I can remember, Jaffna school paper. We'll be discussing out of the 7 questions, we'll be discussing around at least 4 questions. The target is, but sometime we might go 5 questions as well. Okay. So, yes, let's start. Fine. So it's going to be like, what do you call? We are going to do it parallelly. I'm not going to like give you all do early and anyway. We are going to do it parallelly. So let's start. The first question here, they're talking about converting the hexadecimal number 3EA16 to an octal number. Right. Now, if you take hexadecimal, can you convert to octal directly? From hexadecimal to octal, is there any direct conversion method? What do you think? Drop in the chat your answers, let's see. Exactly. From hexadecimal to octal, there is no any direct number conversion methods. Okay. Then what are the options? We can convert to what or what? There are two other alternatives. What are the two alternatives we have? Exactly. One alternative we have is we can convert this hexadecimal number to binary and then convert this binary number into octal. Another method is to convert this hexadecimal number into decimal and then convert this decimal number into octal. Out of these two, what do you think is easy? Is converting binary and solving easy or converting decimal and solving easy? Is decimal or binary? Which one is easy? Exactly. Comparatively, converting the binary is easy. So first of all, let's convert this decimal number, hexadecimal number into binary. To convert the hexadecimal into binary, it's very easy. First of all, you write all the digits we have with a small space. So we have a digit called 3. We have a digit called E. Oh wait, let me try take a separate paper for this. Didn't. Um, I might have writing papers here. So let me show you how you can do the conversion. Okay. So the number we have is what number we have is 3EA16. Okay. 3EA16. Okay. To convert this hexadecimal number into octal, first of all, I'm going to take each of these digits separately, right? So we have one digit called 3, we have one digit called E, we have another character called A, we have a character called 1, we have the character called 6. Step number 1, keep all these characters in a small space. Now, if you take a hexadecimal number, a hexadecimal character, do you all know how it is actually formed? Okay, actually, if you take a hexadecimal number, the reason, do you all know what you call? Okay, I'll ask a simple question. Now, you all know the decimal number system. No? Decimal number system is normally used by whom? Who is the person who normally uses decimal number system? Exactly. It is us, basically humans. Humans only use the decimal number system for any of the communications, all those stuffs. Fine. If you take binary number system, this is mainly used by whom? The binary number system normally used by whom? Exactly. It's mainly used by the computers. When we are communicating with each other, do we communicate in binaries? For example, when I ask your age, will you give me your age in binary and all those stuffs? No. When we are communicating, we don't normally use binary. Okay. Now comes the question, then who is going to use octal and who is going to use hexadecimal? Let me give you a slight idea of octal and hexadecimal. Earlier days, writing binary was very difficult. Like for example, early days, they used to write when they are creating programs and all those stuff. Certain times people used to write these binary numbers as well. So when they're writing binary numbers, let's say when they're writing computer programs somewhere, when they're writing binary numbers, sometimes the binary numbers look very big. Okay, it looked like too big number. So what they did is to make the number small, they grouped 3 bits into one digit. They're like, okay, these 3 bits are going to represent one digit. These 3 bits are going to represent one digit. These 3 bits are going to represent one digit. These 3 bits are going to represent one digit. These 3 bits are going to represent one digit. They grouped it. This grouping is called the octal. So in octal, what we do is we group the number into 3 by 3 bits. On the other hand side, in hexadecimal, what happened was we group them into 4 by 4 bits. So in hexadecimal, these 4 bits will be one set. Then these 4 bits will be another set. Then these 4 bits will be 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 bits will be another set. That is how the hexadecimal number system was formed. Now, based on that, tell me, behind this one character, behind the number 6, how many bits are actually hiding? Now, based on that idea, tell me, if it's a hexadecimal, 3A16 is a hexadecimal number. Okay. So based on that, tell me, behind this one character, how many bits are actually hiding? Exactly. There are 4 bits that are hiding. Okay, there's going to be 4 bits that are hiding. Right. Now we have to figure out what are those 4 bits. Okay, it could be something, it can be like this also, it can be something like this also. Basically, using 4 bits, there are different combinations you can form. You have to figure out, okay, what is the exact value of that. For that, what you can do is you can write in binary the first 4 bits place values, right? Now, for example, in decimal number, imagine I have a decimal number like this, decimal number called 250. Then what will be the place value? The place will be something like this. No, this bug will be 10 to the power 0, this bug will be 10 to the power 1, and this bug will be 10 to the power 2. So 10 to the power 0 is 1, 10 to the power 1 is 10, 10 to the power 2 is 100. What is meant by bits? Bits means a binary digit. One binary digit is called a bit, right? So yeah. So what do you call? We call this one as a ones place. Okay. We call this fellow in the tens place. We call this fellow in the hundreds place. No, that is in decimal number. If it's a binary number, if you want to figure out the first 4 digits place value, you have to multiply with 2 to the power. So 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, and 2 to the power 3. This will give you the first 4 bits place value. 2 to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4, and 2 to the power 3 is 8. Okay. Now these are the place values in binary. Just like, give me 1 minute, guys. Sorry for that. Give me a moment. Yeah. Okay. So what will happen is now in decimal number, like it's ones place, tens place, hundreds place. In what you call binary, the first 4 places will be ones place, twos place, fours place, and eights place. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write those first 4 digits place value here. That is 1, 2, 4, 8. Under each character, I'm going to write that 1, 2, 4, 8, 1, 2, 4, 8, 1, 2, 4, 8, and 1, 2, 4, 8. Okay. Now I have to figure out to form the respective number, what are the digits I need? Okay. Out of 1 to 4, 8, to form number 6, what are the digits I will need? By adding what and what can I form the number 6? Exactly. I can form the number 6 by adding what and what? 4 and 2. Similarly, tell me to form the number 1, what are the characters I need from this set 1 to 4, 8? Only 1. Perfect. And then in hexadecimal, the letter A represents what character? What is the value represented by the letter A? Exactly. That is going to be 10. What is the character represented by the letter E? A represents 10, B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, E is 14, and F is 15. Exactly. So E is going to represent number 14. Right. Now let's come back to A value. Now the value of A is 10. Out of 1, 2, 4, 8, what are the characters we need to form the number 10? Exactly. We need 8 and 2. Similarly, to form the number 14, what are the characters we need? Yes, to form the number 14, we need 8, 2, and 4. And then to form the number 3, Exactly. We need 1 and 2. Okay. Next, what we do is below the numbers, below the characters we need, we'll write 1. And below the characters we don't need, we'll be writing 0. Okay. I don't need 8 and 4 here. I don't need 1 here. Arshana. Give me a moment. Sorry. Okay. So what I did is below the numbers I need, I wrote 1. Below the numbers I don't need, I wrote 0. And then I just combine them together. So these 4 is represent the first set. These 4 represent next set. Killer. I just combine them all together. And if I do that, I'll be able to get the final number. Right. I'll play with this. So what you whenever you want to convert, this is to convert binary. Yeah. To convert binary, just below each character write 1, 2, 4, 8. Figure out the numbers you need. Below the numbers you need, you write 1. Below the numbers you don't need to write 0. And you can get the final answer. Is this clear, all of you? Up to here. Perfect. Fine. Okay. So now we have the binary. I told you to convert from octal to, sorry, hexadecimal to octal. We convert this to binary, and then from binary we convert it to octal. Now let's come back to this scenario. I told you a while ago how the octal number system is formed. How was octal number system formed? They took the binary number and grouped them into 3 bits by 3 bits, right? So now I have the binary number. If I want to figure out the equivalent octal value, I had to group them into 3 bits by 3 bits. So these 3 bits are going to be one set. Then these 3 bits are going to be another set. Then these 3 bits are going to be another set. These 3 bits are going to be another set. These 3 bits are going to be another set. And these 3 bits are going to be another set. The last one, we have just 2 zeros. You can ignore the 2 zeros because whenever there is zeros in the left side corner, that means the front is, and if there is zeros, if you consider that or if you don't consider that, the value is not changing. So I'm going to ignore that. Now I'm going to take all these numbers separated. Okay. I have one set called triple one. I have another set called double one zero. I have another set called 101. I have another set called triple zero. I have another set called 010. And I have another set called 110. Can we put another zero? Even if you put another zero there, the value is going to be the same. For example, if I have a number like this 420, okay, and if I have another number called 0420 or 00420, okay, if I ignore this zero in the front, still the value is going to be the same. Okay, here also it's 420. If I ignore this and take only this also it's 420. If I ignore these two zeros and take also it's 420. So when you have zeros in the left side corner, you can ignore it. Fine. So what I've done here is I took all these numbers specifically. Okay. And now you're going to multiply each bit by its place value. Okay. So here we have only 3 bits. So 3 bits, the first 3 bits place values are what? 1, 2, 4. So I'm going to multiply each bit by 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. And 1, 2, 4. Wherever there is 0, you can cut the bit. Okay. So, and then what you do is you write the sum of the remaining. So here sum of remaining 4, 5, 6. Here it's 2. Here it's 0. Here it's 5. Here it's 6. Here it's 7. So final answer is going to be 7,006. Sorry, 76,500. See, 765,026. This is going to be your final answer. Tell me first of all, are you clear? Did you get the whole idea? Look at the whole structure. Okay, look at this whole thing and tell me. Did you understand how I converted from this hexadecimal into octal? Is there any questions I want to ask? Any questions, drop in the chat. Let's see. If there's any questions, I'll have drop them in the chat. Let's see. Okay. So this is how you can do the first question. First of all, you convert it to binary and convert the binary into hexadecimal. Is it further? Okay. I'll be anyways giving you all this PDF and all those stuff, so you can refer this later on. Okay. You don't have to copy it down now because we have a limited amount of time now. Okay. I'm gonna go for the next one. Again, if you'll have any questions, drop them in chat. Okay, because based on your questions, I'll be what you call elaborating the more. The next one. Select and write the appropriate device for the following task from the list. Fine. Read in the numbers on the bottom part of the check. Okay, what is the device we have for this? For this, you need the grade 10 second lesson knowledge. What is the device we use for this? Exactly. We use a MICR. It's magnetic ink character reader. Okay, we use a magnetic ink character reader. And then scanning a multi-page document in a short period of time. What do you do this? What should you use for this? To scan a document, it's direct. The word itself has it. I mean, the question itself has the answer. Exactly. You can use a normal scanner. Okay. You can just mention the word scanner, but it's better if you can mention what scanner. Okay. For this, you can use something called as a flatbed scanner. The normal scanner which you see in the shops all there, right? They're called the flatbed scanner. So let's mention to be more precise, flatbed scanner. The next one, counting the number of animals from a farm. What is the suitable device? This is a grade 10 first lesson. F exactly. We can use the RFID. It's there in the first lesson, RFID. Wait, have they given a list? Sorry, I did not notice this. Wait, I did not notice. They have given a list. So, okay, MICR is there. Sorry, magnetic resonance, not this MRI. MICR is there. So, we have used this. Flatbeds can have they given? EEG, MRI, you can't use. OMR, no. RFID, OCR. Scanning a multi-page document in a short period of time. Out of the remaining device, if I use now what do you call RFID here, in terms of scanners, the two scanners I have is OMR and OCR. Okay, OMR is used, for example, to mark your, let's say, to mark your what do you call MCQ answers. You can use OMR, and OCR you can use to scan document and get the text, like to get the text from a document. For example, let me show it to you all. Actually, Google has OCR integrated to it. If I go to google.com, click on this image icon and select a specific image. So for example, let's say I took this image. Not as basis, but Akmal will be right next to it. Okay. So I upload image here to Google. I can copy the text from this. See, I can copy this word. If I click on it, I can copy it from here. Copy. See, if I copy, I can even go and paste it. See, I copied that thing called, along with notice some other text got copied, but it's all ICT, blah, blah, blah. I can copy this whole thing from here. So if I click on copy here, it gets copied. This is what OCR is. OCR is where you can copy a text from an image or a document or whatever. So out of the given options, the next most suitable option would be OCR. Okay, because they're not given. Actually, it should be flatbed scanner. They haven't given flatbed scanner. So because they haven't given flatbed scanner, I will tell the next suitable based on the given options. The most suitable one should be OCR. EEG, they are all. But EEG is used to scan the brain. Okay, EEG used to scan the brain, and MRI is used to scan the body or scan organs in your body. And MICR for the check, of OMR to mark MCQ. OCR is normally used to what you call get text from document or get text from image. And RFID you can use to what you call count the animals. No? It's fun. Recording activities of brain. The next one is going to be the EEG. Fine. So based on the given options, we can use this. Is that clear of you? To BCD ASCII, do we write them BCD ASCII as base? Not as base, we write them next to it. For example, after the answer, you can write here, okay, ASCII or BCD, you can write there. Okay, the next one. Again, if you have any questions, drop them in chat, okay? The reading numbers from the bottom part of the check. There is a scanner called MICR scanner. If you go for the banks, they have that. The bottom of the check, you have some characters. You can read those characters. It will normally have the bank number, account number, and all encrypted in that. So you can read that using this MICR, right? Okay, the next question. Prove that the Boolean expression b dash plus ab equals b dash plus a is true using a truth table. Other I'll send me after the seminar. Okay. Let's take this separately in the next page. B dash plus AB. That's question number 3. Ne? Yeah, question number 3. Activity of brain is scanned by MRI. No, MRI is used to scan the organs in our body. Like MRI and CT scan, CAT scan and MRI scan used to scan the body. The main advantage using MRI is in MRI you can see detailed image. For example, you can see your nerves and all in MRI. In CT you can't. Okay, the next one is regarding that equation. So that's going to be b dash plus ab is equal to b dash plus a. And they asked us to prove it using the truth table. Okay. Now, if you take this, sorry, if you take this specific characters you have here, if you take the specific characters you have here, what are the inputs we have here? I mean, in terms of letters, then what are the inputs we have here overall? Exactly. Overall, we have only B, A, and B. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a truth table with two inputs. One input as A, another input as B. Based on logic gates knowledge, tell me if there are two inputs, then how many possible combinations are there? Exactly. There is an equation called 2 to the n, 2 to the power n, where n is the number of inputs. So here we have two inputs. So if there are two inputs, there could be how many combinations? Four combinations. If there is three inputs, it's 2 to the power 3. Okay. So here there could be only four combinations, right? So I'm going to write here four rows. One row, the second row, the third row, and four rows. So four rows for four different combinations, right? So we will need these four rows. Okay, I'm going to keep those four rows. Then what you can do is you can start filling with the right side corner input. So here out of A and B, the right side corner input is going to be no. Just go in this pattern of 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 killer. Just fill up the maximum number of rows in that pattern. Okay. Then you go for the next input. Now here the next input I have is A. Here what I'm going to do is I'm doubling it. Now here I put 1, 0, like one digit 1, 0 and 1, 1. 1, 0, 1, 1. No. Here I'm going to do double of it. That is two zeros and two ones. Okay. If I have another column, I'll be having four zeros and four one. Likewise, I just double it and go. Okay, so I have now filled the inputs. Now let's see what are the things we need. Looking at this truth table, looking at this equation, we have to find for the first equation, we need the value of b dash, and also we need the value of ab as well. So to mention the output, I'm going to have one column called b dash. I'm going to have another column called ab. I'm going to have another column called b dash plus ab. First, let's do this filler. Okay, let's fill this b dash column. B dash means what? Opposite of which column? B dash means the opposite of which column? Opposite of B. Okay. So here if I have 0, this should be 1. Here if I have 1, this should be 0. Here if I have 0, this should be 1. Here if I have 1, this should be 0. Just write the opposite. Okay. AB is using what gate? When I have, now if you see AB, there is no symbols you can see. Okay. But normally, if there is no symbols in between, what they're indirectly meaning is there is a dot in between. That means there is an AND gate. Normally, AND gate, you can mention with the dot or without the dot. Both are actually acceptable. Okay. AND gate is like multiply. AND gate looks like multiplication kind of idea. Okay. Now, based on that, when you have 0 and 0, what will be the overall result? It's going to be 0. 0 and 1, that's also going to be 0. Then 1 and 0, that's also going to be 0. 1 and 1, that's going to be 1. Keep in mind, AND gate will give you 1 only when all the inputs are 1. So here A and B are the inputs. No, only when all the inputs are 1, AND gate will give you 1. Now let's figure out this equation. That is B dash plus AB. To figure out B dash plus AB, we need B dash, AB, and we're going to compare these two using which gate? We're going to compare these two using which gate? Exactly. We are going to use the OR gate. Okay. How I know it's OR gate is because you can see there's a plus symbol used here. Normally plus is used to represent OR gate, right? So I'm going to compare using OR gate and let's find the value. Okay. Using OR gate's idea, if I compare this 1 and 0, 1 plus 0, so 1 or 0, What will be the result? When I compare 1 and 0 with OR gate, it's going to be 1. 0 or 0? 0. 1 or 0? 1. 0 or 1? 1. Okay. So now what I have done here is I have drawn the truth table. Okay. I have drawn the truth table for this left side equation. Okay. I have drawn the truth table for the left side equation. Now let's redraw the truth table, this similar truth table for the right side equation. Okay. In the right side again, how many inputs we have? Only A and B. No. So I'm going to follow the same structure. In right side, also, we are going to have the same structure. So I'm going to have one column for A, one column for B, and there's going to be 4 possible combinations. 0, 1, 0, 1, double 0, double 1. Then I have a column called B dash. So I'm going to have a column called B dash. Let me write this output separately. B dash. I have a column called AB. Sorry, A. I already have the, so I'm going to have the final column as B dash plus A. Okay, B dash plus A. B dash is the opposite of B. So if B is 0 here, this is going to be 1. If B is 1 here, this is going to be 0. If B is 0 here, this is going to be 1. If B is 1 here, this is going to be 0. So B dash plus A is, you're going to compare these two using the AND gates logic. So OR gates logic. 0 plus 1, what will be the overall result? Exactly. It's going to be 1. Then 1 plus 0, that's also going to give you 1. 0 plus 1, that's also going to give you 1. 1 plus 0, that's also going to give you 1. B dash AB, they are not equal. What is the question saying? To prove that they are equal or prove that they are not equal? It is not true. It is false. B dash plus AB, B dash plus AB, and here is B dash plus A, B dash plus A. 1 plus 0, 0 plus. Oh, no, no, wait. I did not compare with A. Sorry, my bad. I had to compare B dash with A. No? So first one is 0, 1 and 0. 1 and 0 is 1. Second is 0 and 0, that's 0. Third is 1 and 1, 1. Fourth is 1 and 0, it's 1. Okay. Because I have to compare here B dash, that is this column, with A, this column. So when I compare these column, the first one is going to give you 1. Second is giving you 0. Third is giving you 1. Fourth is giving you 0. Okay. So what I did here is I drew the truth table. Now, if you look at the last column of both of them, can't we show both in the same table? You can. Okay. If you look at the last column of both the table, are they equal? Exactly. Okay. So you can see both are equal. Okay. Both are equal. So if you just draw this truth table, it's enough. That will actually prove that both are equal. Okay. So with that, you can tell, okay, you can just give your answer like this itself, or you can also mention a statement. Okay. Based on this, based on the last column, or based if you have put everything in one column, if you put everything in one table, then you can mention based on the last two columns. Okay, depending on the question, you can verify your answer. Is that clear? Did you understand how you can do these kind of questions? Any questions from this anyone? So I first of all show the left hand side in the truth table, then I show the right hand side in the truth table, and based on that I can show it's equal, because mathematically you all know, no, if LHS is equal to RHS, the equation is same. If there are three inputs, how do? If there are three inputs, then there will be 2 to the power 3, 8 combinations. So it will be like, let's say ABC, then they'll have 8 columns, 8 rows, sorry. Okay, fine. Again, if there's any question, drop in the chat. I'm going for the next one. Give two differences between a hub and a switch used to interconnect computers in a network. Okay. First of all, you all tell me some different. Tell me some specialities we have in switch. There are some things we have in switch that we don't have in hub. Tell me. Let's see if I can know one. Okay, that's correct. One is full duplex. on and off. How do you write that? How do you explain that on and off? Okay, the on and off is correct. Okay, one is it's full duplex. Second property we have in switch is that you can control the ability to control. Wait, let me read that. Ability to control, ability to control the computer's access to the network. Computers access to the network. Okay, so if I want, let's say if there's four computers connected with each other, okay, if there's four computers connected with each other, let's say all of them are connected using a hub, sorry, switch. If it's switch, if I want, I can go and what do you call allow this computer, or I can go and block this computer from accessing the files, or I can allow this computer, or I can even block this computer from accessing the files. Okay, I can control who has access to the files, and I can also control who doesn't have access. I mean, who can share files to this network and who can't share files, or who can't what you call access files to the network. You can control that in a switch. In hub, you can't do that. All the devices that are connected will have access. Okay, that's how the hub works. Okay, so one is that hub switch is full duplex. Second thing is it has ability to control the computer's access. Okay, that is what you call as data is traveled to the relevant computers only. Okay, you can control that is what is the second point is talking. Right? Is that clear of you? Okay, perfect. The next one, write two reasons for data for disk partitioning. First of all, what do you mean by disk partitioning? Any idea what is disk partitioning? What happens in disk partitioning? Separating a drive into logical compartment. More than that, you can tell it's like where you separate your hard disk into multiple drives. Okay, imagine you have what you call one hard disk. Okay, let's say one hard disk is let's say 100 GB. You have a 100 GB hard disk. Using disk partition, you can break this into two sections, two different drives. Okay, so it'll act like there's going to be, it'll act like there are two different, it'll act like there are two hard disks, but actually there's one hard disk. We have partitioned them and we have created them as two different segments, like two different drives. So this drive we can allocate maybe 80 GB, and this drive we can allocate 20 GB. Likewise, we can break down a hard, we can break down one drive into multiple other drives. That's what, in simple terms, disk partitioning is. Okay, tell me what are the reasons we could do dispersion. Let's see if you all know anything. Exactly. One of the main reasons we do this is to install multiple operating systems. Okay, to install multiple operating system. What else? Imagine if you let's say imagine you have office, okay, and you're working as well, right? So for example, let's say you're doing multiple works, right, and you want your files to be segregated, which means you want your office related files separately, you want your personal files separately, kila. If you want them segregated, which means if you want them to be separate, if you don't want them to be together, if you want them to be separate, then what you can do is you can do disk partitioning. For example, what I can do is I can have two drives. Okay, in this the first drive maybe I can install my operating system and like certain general files I can keep here. Certain important files I can go and keep here. Okay, so let's say something happened to my operating system or something happened to this drive and got corrupted. You know, this is where I'll allow all the stuffs, like generally everything I'll just put inside this. Let's say some file got corrupted or something and I had to format this. I mean, I had to clean, like clear all the files here. So if I had to clear all the files here and like delete all the files here, in that case, I might sometimes have to lose my important files as well. But if I do disk partitioning, I can keep all the important files here. So when I'm cleaning, I can clean only this drive. Without cleaning the whole hard disk, I can clean only this specific drive. Okay. So another thing you can mention is to segregate files in an organized manner. This is another reason you can do it. Okay, there are other reasons as well, but these are the main two reasons a person might do disk partitioning. Is that clear of you? Right. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. Okay, select and write down the appropriate cloud computing service from the list below for the cloud computing related details. Wait, before I do this, have you all completed the second lesson in your school? Grade 11 second lesson. Have any of you all completed the second lesson in your school? Okay, then I'm going to ignore this question because this is something relevant to the grade 11 second lesson. Okay, in grade 11, because if I normally for the first term test, your grade 11 second lesson will not come. Is there anyone of you all getting the for the next week exam? Is there anyone of you all getting the grade 11 second term? So the grade 11 second lesson? No, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to ignore this. Okay, because this is grade 11 second lesson. Let's go for the next one. A sentence is formatted by word processing software. Below is how it looked before and after formatting. So they have done showed you how it looked before formatting, and then they have showed you here how it looked after formatting. Right. Looking at this, what are the formattings you can notice? Tell me the formattings you can notice before you answer the question. What are the formattings you can like for me to like? Has it been bold, underlined, or like let that tell me what are the formattings you can see here? The formatting means changes, right? So what are the changes that is being done for this? Exactly. One thing is the text has been italicized. Okay, correct. Then yes, you can see the text has been bold. Okay, correct. Exactly. Another thing you can see is there's a line that goes through the text. We call it strike through. Okay, the text has been strike through. There is one more thing you can see. Actually, if you focus on the 21st century, you can see one more thing. What is that? Exactly. We have applied a formatting here for the ST. Okay. We call that as superscript. Okay. We call it as superscript. Always use power. It's super. If you are confused about super power subscript, always think like this. The person who is better than you, like who is top of you, like who's like who you see upwards, it's like he'll have super, right? He'll like he have superpowers. He's a super person. Like always super is something who's better than you, who's top of you, right? So keep in mind superscript is always there up, subscript is always there down, right? So based on that, if you notice this question, these are four formatting that is being done. Okay. Look at the tools that are labeled from A to H and tell me to do superscript, what is the tool we need? Which label? Tell me the letter we need. To do superscript, what is the tool we need? Which letter? Exactly. To do superscript, we need the tool G. Okay, for this we need the tool G. And then to italicize a text, what is the tool we need? Which letter? Exactly. To italicize a text, we need the letter tool C. To bold a text, what is the tool we need? Which letter? We need the tool B. To strike through a text, what is the tool we need? Exactly. We need the tool E. Okay. A is used to change the font style, and this is used to change the font size. This is used to bold a text. This is used to italicize a text. This is used to underline a text. This is used to strike through a text. This is used for subscript. This is used for superscript. And this is used for color, the font color. Okay, in general, these are actually the main ones you should know. Okay, write the labels of the tool required for the above format. Know that the font size or syntax is not changed. Marks will be deducted for additional labels. All right. If you give additional labels, marks will be deducted. It's same. So here actually the correct ones are these four. Is that clear, all of you? So answer should be G, C, B, E. Any questions, anyone? Fine. Let's go for the next one. Match the key combination and the results correctly using the following key combination in spreadsheet software. Okay, in spreadsheet, they are given you certain combinations and they are asking to follow. By the way, my mistake. I told you this is grade 11 second lesson. You know, second lesson. This is grade 11 third lesson. Okay, grade 11 third lesson, last part of the lesson. Okay, the next one, eighth question. Match the key combination and the results correctly using the following key combination spreadsheet software. Fine. Move the worksheet one screen up. One screen up. Then what should you use? Is it one, two, three, or four? They're talking about spreadsheet here. Exactly. That's going to be the page up. Okay, number 2. Okay. Move the current active cell to the next right side of the cell. If you want to go up to the right side cell, exactly. To go for the right side cell, you might the right arrow key. It's an easy one. Next, selecting adjacent cell. Adjacent means the same place, like along the same, let's say same column or same row. Like adjacent means next to each other. Okay. Select an adjacent cell together upwards with the active cell. Okay. For example, this is the active cell, and you want to select the cells that are upwards to you. Okay. Then what the things do? Exactly. That's going to be shift plus the up arrow key. And then move the cell to the A1 position. What do we use? Obviously, remaining option. That's going to be control plus 4. Right? So if you match them together, you will be getting something like this. 1 will be matched to S, 2 will be matched to P, 3 will be matched to Q, 4 will be matched to R. Okay, so that's how you have to write the answer for this question. Fine, let's go for the next one. Fill in the blanks in the following statement using the suitable words. A field or combination of fields used to uniquely identify a record in a table is called what? It's very easy. What type of field is that? I mean, sometimes to identify each records in a table, we'll be using a specific field, or sometimes you might use a combination of fields. What do you call that as? I'll give you a hint. It's some type of key. What key? It's a type of key. What is the key that is unique? Exactly. It's called the primary key. It's called the primary key. And then the next one. If a field in one table uniquely identifies a record in another table, this field is called what? A field in one table, it uniquely identifies another table. Not this table. It's not unique in this table. It's unique in another table. That's called what type of key? Yes, that's called the foreign key. So foreign key is a primary key of another table, right? So that's going to be called as a foreign key. Perfect. Next one. What is the output of the pseudocode given below? So they have given you a pseudocode here and they've asked you what is the output. Let's see. Begin x equals 100. Normally, when you get these kind of questions, it's better if you can draw the dry run. Okay. To draw the dry run, first of all, we write all the variables we used here. So in this program, look at the program and tell me what are the variables you can see. Variables are like letters which you can use to store, or let's say you can use a character or name or something to store values, something like that. Exactly. So there is one variable called x and there is another variable called I. These are only two variables we have. So right, first of all like for each variable you have, draw unique columns. Next, for each condition, draw column. What are the conditions you can see here? There is one condition called display x. Okay, there is a condition called display x. So there are not condition, this condition called display x. Okay, there is no any conditions here. Yeah, there is no any conditions here, so you can ignore that. There is output here, so let's write output directly. Display x is output, so I'm going to write the output here. Next, first question there, first instruction they mentioned x equals 100. So on x, I'm going to go and write the value as x is going to be 100. Then we have for I equals 1 to 5, and they are given a task to do. What happens in for loop? There's a type of loop called for loop. In for loop, what happens is we mention a variable and a specific range. So what happens is the variable will be executing certain instruction based on that. So first time the value of this I is going to be 1. Next I will become 2. Next I will become 3. Okay, so I'll become 1, 2, 3. Then I will become 4. I will become 5. Okay. So here they mentioned 1 to 5 now. So what will happen is it will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The values of I will be changing on in the program. Okay. And what will happen is whatever is there just below the for loop. Okay. Not all the instruction, only the one just below the for loop that will execute automatically. So that will execute repeatedly, right? So first time it will execute that instruction by considering I as 1. The next time it will execute that instruction by considering I as 2. The next time it will execute the instruction by considering I as 3. Likewise, it will be executing going. Okay. So let's think first of all, I is 1 below. By considering I as 1, if I execute this statement, x equals x minus I, what will be the updated value of x? So when you take the statement x equals x minus I, okay, what this means is the new value of x is going to be equal to the latest value or the current value of x minus the current value of I. So based on this, tell me what will be the new value of x? Exactly. The current value of x is 100. The current value of I is 1. So 100 minus 1 is going to give you how much? It's going to give you 99. So I wrote here 99. Again, for loop, it will execute the instruction. There is the only one step below it. I mean, the next instruction only. After it executes the instruction, now it will go for the next round, or we'll call the next iteration. In the second iteration, the value of I will become automatically 2. That's the specialty of for loop. For loop, the value of this variable automatically increase, right? Now the value of I is going to be 2. When the value of I is 2, when you execute this instruction, x equals x minus I. Now, okay, if you execute it now, what will be the updated value of x now? The current value of x is 99. Current value of I is 2. So 99 minus 2 is going to give you how much? 99 minus 2, not 1, it's minus 2. How much? Exactly. That's going to give you 97. That's going to give you 97. Right. Now we go for the next iteration. Now the value of I is going to be 3. Okay. Now when you execute this instruction, x equals x minus I, what will be the updated value of x now? Exactly. That's going to be 94. Okay. Because 97 minus 3 is going to give you 94. Okay. Now we go for the next iteration, where the value of I is automatically going to become 4. Now what will be the value of x? Exactly. 94 minus 4, that's going to give you 90. Okay. Now we go for the next iteration. Okay. Next iteration, I is going to be 5. Now 90 minus 5, that's going to be 85. Okay. Now tell me, will the value of I become 6? Look at the program, will the value of I become 6? No. Because we have mentioned here I equals 1 to 5 do. So I will become only from 1, it will go up to 5 and it will stop at 5. It will not go above 5. Okay. And then after the for loop, we have next instruction called next I. This next I is not there in your syllabus, but sometime you might get this in your paper. What do you mean by next I is to add a value, add one more, what do you call, one more value to I. Okay, it's like I equals I plus 1. You can write I equals I plus 1 indirectly by saying next I. Okay, so based on that, tell me what will be the new value of I when you say next I. Exactly. I is going to become 6. I is going to become 6. Then we have the statement called display x. Then we have the statement called display x. So based on that, tell me what will be the value that's going to get displayed? Currently, what is the value of x? X is, you can see the value of x is 85. So when you say display x, what is the value that's going to get displayed? 85 is going to get displayed. So the program ends, you can see the output of this program is what? It is 85. Is that clear, all of you? Okay, so the output of the program is going to be 85. Anyone having any questions here? Okay, so keep in mind to draw the dry run, use one column each for the each. In variables, we have one column each for each condition you have, and one common column for the output. Fine. All of you got this? Yes or no? Why I equals 1 is not a condition. That is mentioned here. No? See, for I equals 1, it's not a condition. For I equals 1 to 5 do is actually it's a range of values you mentioned. We don't have to mention that. And again, is this a condition? This is not a condition. This is assigning a value to a number. It's a process. It's not a condition. It's a process. Do we write process in the truth table? No, no. I equals 5, I equals 1. These are all process. So you don't write process in the truth table. Shouldn't we subtract 85 minus 6 to display x? Have we mentioned anything about 85 minus 6 here? No. When did I become 6? I became 6 after the for loop was completed. After the for loop completed, only we came for next I. Okay. When we're talking about display x, we are always see the latest value of x. So did you know if I had reduced that 6, I would have updated a as 79. No. Did I update that 79? No, no. Only if the value gets changed, I have to do it. If, as per the program, you see, I fill the truth table by referring the program. So when I fill the table, I had within the loop, I actually updated all these values. Within the loop, only I updated all these values. Okay, out of the loop, only thing I did was I changed the value of I as next I. I went for I equals I plus 1. And when I say display x, it'll go and display the latest value of x, which is basically 85. Got it? Anyone having any other questions here? How many marks? This is actually the part one first question. So every mark will get carry to 2 marks. Okay, every question will carry 2 marks. So for example, for this program, you get 2 marks. For this primary key 1 mark, foreign key 1 mark, and eighth question, each of these will get half marks. Killer. So for each of these question, you get 2 marks technically. So these are 20 marks question we have discussed up to now. Right, perfect. Now let's go for the next one, the spreadsheet question. The salary details for June 2023 required to mention each and every step for query one. Query one. No? I mean, question number one. In question number one, you will show how you converted from decimal to what do you call octal to say hexadecimal to binary and binary to octal. As long as you have showed as long as you have shown certain steps that the marker can identify, okay, this bug has not copied, you're good to go. So I have given there the minimum amount of steps required. Perfect. Let's go for the next one. Salary details for June 2023 for employees working in a garment manufacturing company are given below. Fine. Give the formula you should write inside cell F4. Okay. Always when you're doing these spreadsheet questions, it's better if you can use a highlighter or a pencil. So it's easy for you to know exactly what cell they're talking about. Okay. Give the formula you should write in cell F4. So F4 is going to be somewhere here. Okay. Give the formula you can write for F4 to calculate Aruna's overtime pay amount and to calculate overtime pay for okay. So when you're writing the formula here, you have to think that you're gonna what do you call write the overtime pay for others as well. Okay. If you look at now, you have to look at the whole spreadsheet to understand how normally in O levels they tell you how to find it, but in your school exams, term exams, normally they don't tell you how to find it. So you have to look at the spreadsheet and figure out how do you find it. Okay. Let's look at this. Now, what we are doing is we have write a formula here, no? And you are seeing the purpose of this formula. The purpose of the formula is to what? To find Anura's overtime pay. Okay. So we know this specific row is talking about Anura. See, this Anura is there, you know. So this whole row is talking about Anura's details. So here it will have Anura, the date he joined the company. We have here Anura's basic salary. And we have here the number of overtime hours Anura has actually worked in this company. So we have the number of overtime. If you look at the spreadsheet regarding overtime, is there any other data you can notice regarding the overtime? Apart from that overtime that Anura has worked for 10 hours, is there any other details you can notice in the spreadsheet regarding regarding overtime, basically? Yes. If you look at the spreadsheet in the bottom, you can see they have mentioned the overtime per hour amount. Okay. Per hour, how much is the person getting? Exactly. Okay. So you can write a formula like this to find the overtime amount Anur will be getting. You can write a formula equals. Always keep in mind when you start a formula with equal symbol. So equals, and you can multiply the number of hours with the overtime per hour. Okay. So overtime per hour is behind the cell F14. So I'm going to write here F14 and multiply this with the number of hours Anur had been working. So Anur have been working for 10 hours. And that's then E4 cell. Okay. So if I write F14 into E14, I'll be able to get this value 2500. There's a small mistake in it. I'll come to that in a while. Before I come to that mistake, first of all, tell me, are you clear with how I got this formula F14 into E14? All of you are clear with how I got this value as F14 into E14. Is that clear? Fine. Now, I found the formula as F14 into E14 now. If I copy this formula from Anura, I mean from this cell, if I copy the formula for the below cell, or if I copy for the below the next cell or the next cell, okay, is it E14 or E4? Sorry, E4, E4. My bad. Sorry, it should be E4 here. My bad, it should be E4 here. F14 into E4. Okay. Now, if I copy this value I have in the what do you call for Anura, if I copy this for the below cells, okay, if I copy for the below cells, okay, what will happen is the formula also will be changing. The cell address in the formula will also be changing. Okay. Because normally, whenever you're referencing a cell address, okay, when you're referencing a cell address in a formula, there are two methods you can reference it. Okay. One method of referencing a cell is called relative cell reference. The other method of what you call referencing a cell is called absolute cell reference. Okay, these are two methods of referencing a cell in a formula, a cell address in a formula. By default, what is the cell reference that happens normally? Is it relative or is it absolute? By default, what type of cell reference is happening? Exactly. By default, the relative cell reference only happens. By default, relative cell reference only happen. In relative cell reference, what happens is when you copy a formula from one cell to another cell, the value, the cell address also changes. For example, if I copy from this cell to this cell, okay, the row number will be changing because why? I'm from this row, I'm jumping for now one row down. So when I'm jumping now one row down, the row number changes. Okay. If I jump, let's say from this cell, if I copy the formula to this cell, now I'm jumping columns. So column name will change. If I jump, let's say from this cell, if I jump to this cell, now I'm jumping columns as well as row. So both will get changed, right? So depending on what, how, where you're going to paste it, okay, from the copying cell, depending on where you're going to paste it, you will be able to see notice a change. Now here, if you notice, I'm going to copy the what you call overtime amount. The formula I wrote for Anura. I'll be copying it for Kamal. I'm going to copy it for Ratnasiri. I'm going to copy it for Mahen. I'm going to copy it for Lakmal, Gokul, and Sampath. I'm going to copy it for others as well. When I'm going to copy it to the below cells and all, tell me what will get changed in this formula. Will the row number change or will the column name change? Exactly. What will happen is the row number will change. Okay. So what happens here is when I copy it from Anura to Kamal, when I'm going one row down, even the cell address also will go one row down. So F14 will become F15. It will go one row down. E4 will go to one row down. E4 will become E5. Okay. E4 will become E5. Okay. That is for Kamal. Now for Kamal, if you take F15, the value in F15 cell is going to be what? The value in F15 cell we have it as what do you call 12%, and that will be multiplied with E5. E5 is Anura Kamal's overtime hour. First of all, tell me, is the E5 correct? If I have the formula equals F15 into E5, is the E5 part correct for Kamal's overtime? Yes, for Kamal's overtime, E5 is correct. Is F15 correct to find Kamal's overtime? To find Kamal's overtime, is F15 correct? No, it should be what? Instead of F15, it should be what? Exactly. It's going to be F14. It's going to be what? It's going to be X14. Now, based on this, tell me, when I'm copying the formula for other people, that means I'm copying for other employees, Kamal, Mahen, Rakmal, all those stuffs, what has to be kept fixed? First of all, tell me, should the overtime per hour, the F15 part, the overtime per hour should be fixed or the overtime hours should be fixed? The overtime amount, overtime, what do you call overtime amount or overtime hours, amount or hours? What has to get fixed? When I'm going to copy the formula for other employees as well, what should be fixed? The overtime amount or the time hours? Exactly, the overtime amount. Because, for example, here it should give, when I'm going for Kamal, it should give me E5, correct. When I'm going for Ratnasri, it should give me E6, correct. When I'm going to Mahain, it should give me E7. That should get changed. That's correct. Because why? Their respective overtime hours are there in those cells. So those are getting changed, is fine. What should be fixed is F15, sorry, F14, the basically the overtime per hour. That value has to be fixed for all employees because for all employees, we have a common overtime amount. Okay. To keep something fixed in spreadsheet, we normally use a dollar symbol. Okay. If I have dollar $A, now column is being fixed. If I have $1, now row is being fixed. If I have dollar $A, $1, now both are being fixed. Always think this dollar as like a, what do you call, like a, let's say like a shield, or let's say like you have a bodyguard. Normally bodyguard will be front of you only, covering you. They will not wait normally behind. Normally bodyguard will be front of you know. So dollar A is going to keep the what you call column name fixed. $A is going to keep the row number fixed, and $1 is going to keep both fixed. So this is only column, this is only row, and this is both are going to be fixed. So now based on this, tell me how should I write the F14 formula instead of just keeping F14. You know, this is what absolute cell reference is. Okay, using absolute cell reference, how should I write the formula? Instead of mentioning F14, what should I mention it as? Exactly. Here we want the, yeah, just I'll be giving. Okay. Exactly. Here we want the row to be fixed. So if I want the row to be fixed, I had had the dollar in front of what? Dollar should be there in front of the row, not behind, in front of the row. So in that case, I write the formula as equals F$14 into E4. Okay, equals F$14 into E4. Now, if I have this formula, if I copy for other rows, still there won't be any change. Why? The dollar symbol will be like protecting it. Dollar symbol like, okay, I will not allow you to change him, killer. The protect dollar symbol will be there in front of you. Is that clear, all of you? And this is what we call as absolute cell reference. In absolute cell reference, we always use the dollar symbol. Is that clear, all of you? So the answer there is going to be equals F$14 into E4. Anyone have any questions there? Can't we use $F14? If you use $F14, what is going to be kept fixed? Is a column name getting fixed or is row number going to get fixed? I said it's like a bodyguard that's in front of you. So based on that, tell me. Shafana, yes. Shiva, tell me, will the column be fixed or row will be fixed? Using dollar is absolute referencing, right? Exactly, yes. Exactly. So if you have $F14, what will happen is it will keep the F fixed. Now, when I'm going to sales downwards, okay, if I'm going to sales in the same column downwards, obviously F is not going to change. Here also is going to be F, here also is going to be F, here also is going to be all in the same column. I told you, when you're jumping from one row to another row, the row changes. When you're jumping from one column to another column, the column name changes. Both will get changed only if you're jumping row as well as column. Is that clear? Why not $F$14? I have mentioned the minimum requirement. $F$14 is also correct. I have mentioned in the minimum requirement. Okay. $F$14 is correct, but that is not a required thing because why are we jumping columns here? Only if we are jumping columns, we have to think about $F. So what I have given answer is basically the minimum requirement. If you want, you can mention $F. If you want, you can also mention the answers $F, $14 into E4. Or you also can mention $F, $14 into $E4 also you can mention. Like you can mention other variations as well. I have given you the minimum requirement. Is that clear, all of you? Got it? Okay, let's go for the next one now. Write the formula in cell G4. So we're going to write a formula now in cell G4. G4 is here. To calculate Anura's EPF amount, okay, and other employees as well. EPF payment for an employee is 12% of his basic salary. Okay, this is given in cell F5. Okay, so you can find his EPF amount using this value. So again, we're going to write a similar formula using absolute cell reference. Okay, now you all do and tell me using absolute cell reference. You all give me the answer. Let's see. What should be the formula I write inside the G4 cell? I will be giving. Don't worry. Tell me using absolute cell reference, a formula I can write inside G4 cell to find the EPF amount of 100. It's something similar to what we wrote in the first question only. First question was regarding the overtime. Second was regarding EPF. Okay, let's write it. They have mentioned EPF is basically 12% of his basic salary. So his first of all, let's see where this 12% is there. 12% is there in the F15 cell. Okay, so I'm going to get here equals F$15 using absolute cell reference. I'm going to get here F$15. And I'm going to multiply this with his basic salary. So his basic salary is what? Basic salary is there in the cell D4. Okay, so it's going to be, answer is going to be equals F$15 into D4. Some of you all have mentioned the part called into divide by 100. You don't have to mention the divide by 100. Okay, you don't have to mention the divide by 100 because in behind when you if you have form when we, in spreadsheet there's something called cell formatting. So if you have formatted this cell to percentage, if they have formatted this cell to percentage, behind the scene this actually has 12 divided by 100. So you don't have to do the divide part by 100 part. You can directly mention as equals F15 into D4. Is that clear of you? Any questions there? Perfect. Now let's go for the next one. Give the formula that you should write in H4. Okay, so we are write the formula in H4. It seems H4 is this. Okay, to calculate the net salary for Aruna, net salary is equal to basic salary plus overtime amount minus the EPF amount. Fine. Let's take basic salary is there in which cell? Anura's basic salary is there in which cell actually? It's there in the cell D4. Fine. Sorry, I built brackets. Open brackets D4. Anura's overtime amount is there in which cell? Exact. Overtime amount we found that is the F4 cell. So D4 plus F4. Then close the bracket. Actually, bracket is not important here, but anyways, subtract the EPF amount. The EPF amount is there in which cell? It is there in G4 cell. So Anura's salary is going to be D4 plus F4 minus G4. This is going to be Anura's net salary, which he will be getting. Okay, so we can write the formula equals D4 plus F4 minus G4. Is that clear of you? Okay, next question. Write the formula to be written in cell H11, okay, in the form of function 1, cell 1 to cell 2, to calculate the total net salary paid by the garment manufacturing company to all the employees in June 2023. Okay, so they want a formula in H11 cell, it seems. So H11 is somewhere here. Yeah, okay. In H11 cell, they want to get the total amount paid for all employees. Okay. Now, Anura's salary is there in H4, H3 cell. Similarly, the other employee salaries might be there in the respective cells as well. Okay. So, Anura, what you call Kamal will be having here, Ratnasiri here, Mahen here, Lakmal here, Kohul here, Sampath here. Other employee salaries will be there in the remaining cell. Now, if I want to find the sum of them, okay, so if I want to find the total of them, what is the function I can use in spreadsheet? Now in spreadsheet, we have a function called sum, we have a spreadsheet, we have a function called min, we have a function called max, we have a function called what do you call average, we have a function called count for your syllabus. Based on that, what function can be used? Exactly, we can use the sum function. Okay, and for this sum function, what should be the cell range we have to add together? What's going to be the cell range we are going to add together? This blue color cell range. What is this called? The first cell is H4, the last cell we have is H10. So cell range is going to be H4 to H10, H4 to H10. So answer there is going to be equal sum H4 to H10. Is that clear of you? Yes or no? Perfect. Next, write the formula F11 as function 2 cell 3 to cell 4 to get the number of employees receiving overtime pay. Okay, so you want to see the number of employees who are getting overtime pay in the F11 cell, F11 cell, F11 cell. That is F11 is somewhere here. Okay. Yeah, is it? Actually, it should be E11, I guess. It should have been E11, not F11. It should have been, I think the question should have been E11, but fine. That's not going to be an issue for us. Okay. If you want to find the number of employees who are getting overtime, okay, how can you do that? Using what function? Out of the function I gave you, what is the function you can use to find the number of employees who are getting overtime? Exactly. We can use the count function. We can use the count function. Okay, we can use the count function. Now tell me, will count function count numbers? Let's say a cell has a number. So if a cell has a number, will the count function consider that as a cell? Yes or no? Yes, it will consider. If a cell has letters, no. If it has symbols, Again, no. Keep in mind, count function will count the number of cells. Okay, count function. This will count the number of cells containing numbers only. Cells containing numbers only. Okay, cells containing number only. Okay, when the cell is empty also it will not count, it will count the cell only if the cell contains numbers only. Keep in mind, only if there's numbers it will tell that okay, that cell has a that's a cell. It will count the cell only if that cell has numbers only. So what we can do is we can include the count function for this range. Okay, so we have a range of cells from E4 to what do you call E4 to E11, E10. No? For E4 to E10, we can use a count function. So what will happen is we have here certain symbols. No, so it will ignore these symbols. The symbols it will ignore, and it will give you this 5 as an answer because you can see only 5 people have overtime hours. So what I'm going to write there is equals count E4 to E10. Equals count E4 to E10. Is that clear of you? Was that clear, all of you? Okay, perfect. And then the last spreadsheet question. In the above spreadsheet, which option should you select in the format cells dialog box to format the basic salary as rupees 45,000? Right. Now, currently, if you see the basic salary is there as rupees 45,000, comma, triple zero, double two dots. What is the change? Okay. By default, you will not be getting these two dots. Okay. Oh, wait, is that the change or are they talking about rupees? Because there's two formatings you can talk about here. One formatting you can talk about is adding the two zeros. Another formatting you can do is adding the rupees. To add the rupees, there's something called it's called format cell only. So are they talking about rupees or are they talking about the two dots? Which option should you select? Okay, if you take cell format, there are multiple cell format in spreadsheet. For example, in Excel, I talk about. Okay, there's something called general. There's something called currency. There's something called accounting. There's something called date time. There are multiple accounting. There are multiple formats. Out of these options, what do you think is most suitable to get the formatting like this? Rupees 45,000 kilo. Yes. Out of the options we have there, the most suitable option would be actually currency. The most suitable option would be currency. By default, the currency is in dollar. You can change that. When you click on that format cells, you can actually change that to rupees as well. But by default, it will be there in dollar. So here the option should be currency. This looks like an interesting paper. Anyways, fine. And yeah, that's all for the spreadsheet question. So tell me, are you clear with all of these spreadsheet questions? Yes or no? You know what are you doing here? Of the older 23s also they are here. Even grade 10s are there here. What are format cells? Format cells is a way this where the values will be looked. Now, for example, if you look at this spreadsheet software, let me show you. Let me open Excel and show you. So this is my spreadsheet. Okay, in spreadsheet, the top itself, can you see something called general here? Okay, it's called number format. Okay, there are multiple formats. If I click on arrowhead, number, currency, accounting. Wait, if I think do the full screen share, I can see it. Okay, number, currency, accounting, short date, long date, time, percentage, fraction, blah blah blah. There are multiple formats. So if I click on currency, the value will be there as currency. Now, for example, if I go and write a 50, see $15.220. So by default, the dollar will come. But if I don't put currency, now this is in general. In general, if I put 50, it will be there as 50 only. So this I put the formatting for currency. You can see currency up here, and this doesn't have that. So this is called number format. You can have this here. Got it? Uh-huh. from where you take in page. In the top itself, it's there. No? Yeah. In the top itself, if you see the Excel, in the top itself, you can see a general के लिए आती है. In the top itself. Wait, if I do full screen shot, you can see that, I guess. The top itself, you can see something called general. Okay. By default, top itself, you can see general. Click on this general, you'll have options. Number, currency, blah, blah, blah. You have it there. How to add two zeros? You can do the formatting from here itself. Like after you put currency, you can go for this more number formats and you can do the changes from here itself. Okay, so here you can have a symbol. No, in symbol I can go and change as rupees. Let's see if I have rupees here. LKR, LKR, and now it's in LKR. Okay, I can change rupees as well from this currency. And they are in here itself. I can change the decimal place. Decimal place is 2. If I click it increases, decimal place is going to be here 50.30. Correct. So you just have to click on this number format and more number format. In more number format, you can do the changes. Okay, perfect. So yeah, with that, the spreadsheet is also done. Not bad. I'm going according to my time. I target 1 hour for the first question and half an hour each for the remaining questions. Let's see. Next, the database question. Assume you are given 3 tables in a relational database as shown below. A patient can consult 1 or more doctors and a doctor can advise 1 or more patients. Fine. So they are saying a patient can consult 1 or more doctors. A doctor can advise 1 or more patients. Fine. Perfect. Write the 2 primary keys from the above tables with the table name. Okay. Primary keys are the unique fields of a table. If you look at the doctor table, what do you think is the most suitable primary key? Is it doctor number, doctor name, or specialization? So you have to keep in mind the primary key should be unique, primary key can't repeat, and primary key can never be modified as well. If it's fixed, it should be as it is. It can't be changed. Exactly. The most suitable field will be doctor number. Okay. Because sometimes there could be 2 doctors the same name. Sometimes the doctor's name can change. Let's say doctor had converted or something, doctor's name can change. Like that, there can be changes. Even the specialization can change. 2 doctors can have the same specializations, or doctor can change the specialization. It can vary. So that is not suitable. The most suitable one will be the doctor number. Similarly, in the patient table, what is the most suitable primary key? Like the most suitable what you call unique field? Exactly. In the patient table, it's going to be the patient number because other all the fields values can change, or other all the fields values can even repeat, right? In the appointment table, there is going to be something called as a composite primary key. So normally when you find the primary key, always you see, can you do it with one field? Sometimes with one field you can't. So you have to use 2 fields. Sometimes with 2 fields you can't, then only you have to go for 3 fields. If you take the appointment table, can you find the primary key with only one field? Just look at this and see. You have to keep in mind, it should not change, it should not repeat. Likewise, there are rules. If you look at the appointment table, using one specific field, can you form the primary key? No, you can see doctor numbers are repeating. See, there's D1, D1 here and here. Patient numbers are repeating. Date is also repeating. So we can't have a unique one there. Okay. Now we have to see, can we take a pair? That means, can we take 2 fields? Look at this table and tell me, can we take 2 fields? Actually, in this table, there is no repetitions. Even though this table does not have repetition, there could be a repetition. For example, let's take the first scenario. First scenario is D1 and P1. No. Who is D1? Here D1 is basically Sivantan. This doctor called Sivantan. Who is P1? P1 is Kugandan. Okay. If you go for a hospital, can you give me a guarantee that you will meet a doctor only once? In your lifetime, only once you will meet a specific doctor. Can you give that guarantee? No. So, for example, there could be scenarios you met the doctor on 10th of July, and there could be a scenario you met the doctor again on what you call, let's say, 10th of August. Okay. Next month again you had met him. Okay. So in that case, let's say the same patient met the same doctor on a different date, then there will be a repetition, right? There might be another record called D1, P1. The date might be different. Date might be now 10th of August. Okay. So in these constants, always sometimes you can't be relying on the given data. You have to think logically. Is it possible? You have to think out of the box as well. So based on the given scenario, what do you call, there could be a repetition if you use only these two fields. Is that clear? First of all, tell me. I mean, based on the given data, there is no repetition. But if you think broader, there could be a repetition. Is that clear? Exactly. Okay. So based on this, now tell me what is the most suitable primary key in that case? We are use, technically speaking, we have to use all three fields. Okay. Technically speaking, we have to use all three fields. Give me a minute. Guys, just give one more minute. Huh? Do a small transfer. You all know what happened to my bike? How much do you think had gone for the bike to just make that? You all know your Rizlan would have told about this accident. My friend only has gone to make the bike. Now it's done. Imagine how much would have gone for that. I am transferring that amount only here. Not what happened. I mean that like what happened like 1 week before the, what do you call, seminar. I think he did not tell you all. He was, what do you call, whispering. What is Pradeep? Around 65 optional amount has gone. The transfer. Are what is this bugger's account number, man? Shant. Okay, found it. Sorry, 68. Actually, more than 68 went because I did some things before here before I gave for the service. So go and check now how is my bike. You want me just send the slip and alas. Ding, 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 and done. 100 watt bulb. Okay, alas. Okay, so technically speaking, you have to use all three fields. Okay, and this kind of scenario we call as a composite primary key. But don't worry, you will not be. They will not ask you a stupid question like this composite primary key. But there's a loophole here also. Let's say the same patient went the same day. Let's say I went in the morning as well as I went in the evening. Normally that doesn't happen. But if that happens, then there will be a repetition. That's a very rare scenario. But anyways, it's possible. So technically, even all three fields are not suitable. Let's ignore that below. The question is asking two primary keys with a table name. So keep in mind, if you mention only the field name, it's wrong. You mention the field name as well as table name. So one of the answers is doctor number in doctor table. So I mentioned a doctor number. Why is it black color? Doctor number in doctor table. The other answer is patient number in. So these are two primary keys. Patient number in patient table. Always keep in mind, whenever you get these primary key questions, mention the table name as well. Okay. The same thing is in the appointment table now. No, in appointment table, doctor number is not a primary key. Always you have to keep in mind, it should be uniquely in appointment table. Doctor number is not the primary key. In appointment table, the primary key, as per what I told you a while ago, is all three fields. So if you are checking the appointment table, you have to tell doctor number, patient number, and date in the appointment table. All three, not only doctor number. Because I told you a primary key can't repeat. If you take only doctor number, see this is again repeating. Again D2 also again repeating. D4 is again repeating. So if you just mention doctor number in appointment table, that's wrong. Got it. Do you teach A-level? No, no time. Right? So the answer is going to be doctor number in doctor table, patient number in patient table. Perfect. Next, write two foreign keys from the above table with table name. Normally, if you take foreign keys, it's a primary key of another table. Okay, foreign key is always primary key of another table. So to find foreign keys, the easiest method is, first of all, you find the primary key. Then you find is a primary key there in another table. Now we already found two primary keys. No, one of the primary key we found was this doctor number. Other primary key we found was the patient number. Okay, so let's start with doctor number. Now tell me, is doctor number there in the patient table? So what we are seeing is a primary key there in another table. That's what we're seeing is a primary key there in another table. Is the doctor number there in the patient table? No. Is the doctor number there in the appointment table? Is the doctor number in the appointment table? Exactly. So doctor number in appointment table is there, right? This bugger is going to be called as a foreign key. The doctor number in appointment table, you can consider this fellow as a foreign key. So he is a primary key in another table. This is one of the foreign keys we have. Then the next primary key we have is patient number. Okay. Is patient number there in the doctor table? Is the patient number there in the doctor table? No. Is the patient number there in the appointment table? Yes. So patient number in the appointment table, this is also going to be a foreign key. So always keep in mind, foreign keys are primary keys of another table. So you find the primary key first, then you see what are the other tables it's there. So you can write the answer here as doctor number in appointment table, one answer. Doctor number in appointment table is one answer. Another answer you can write here is patient number in appointment table. In appointment table. Is that clear of you? Right. Write a composite primary key from the above table. Here they have given the composite primary key. So here the answer is going to be for the composite primary key to mention all three fields. Where mention doctor number. You can use comma or plus, anything is fine. Suitable to use plus. So doctor number plus patient number plus date in appointment table. In appointment table. Can we take doctor number and patient number only? You can't. That's why I explained a while ago, right? I told, for example, let's say you went to the same doctor today and you went to the same doctor tomorrow also. So if you're going to visit the same doctor today and tomorrow, it will be a repetition, right? That's why you can't use it. Is that clear? Okay, next one. Write the type of relationship between patient and appointment table and give reasons for it. Okay. Normally, if you want to find the relationship between two tables, first of all, you write the table's name. That's easy. So I'm going to take patient table and I'm going to take the appointment table. And then tell me, if you take one record in the patient table, that means if you take this first record in the patient example, okay, if you take one record in the patient table, it can be connected to how many records in the appointment table? One or many? One record in the patient table, it can be connected to, or it can be relevant to how many records in the patient table, appointment table. For example, I have one patient here called P1. This P1 can be connected to how many records appointment table. It can be connected to this fellow. It can be connected for this record. See, there are two records. That means many records. Again, P2 also, you can see it can be connected for this fellow as well as this fellow. Now, P3, if you say it can be connected for this fellow and this fellow. So based on that, tell me, one record in the patient table, can it be connected to one record in the appointment table or many records in the appointment table? Exactly. One record in the patient table can be connected to many records in the appointment table. Okay. You can always compare the foreign key and primary key in this scenario. Right. Now let's see the vice versa. If you take one record in the appointment table, for example, let me take this specific record. Okay. If I take one record in the appointment table, this can be connected to how many patients? This can be relevant to how many patients? Or this can be connected to how many patients? Exactly. It can be connected to only one patient. Who is that one patient it can be connected to? What is the name of that patient? The blue one, the blue highlighted one? It's exactly Kirtana. Okay, it's P4 here, so this can be connected to only Kirtana. Can we connect this to other patients apart from Kirtana as per the given data? No, it's relevant only to Kirtana. So first of all, you figure out this. One patient can be connected to how many appointments? One appointment can be connected to how many patients? Once you're done with that, you can write a conclusion. So one and one, write one, one and m you write in. Only if there's one, if both are one, you write one. If there's any other character, write in. And then you can tell, okay, there is a one-to-many relationship between them. Okay. To conclude whether it's one-to-one or one-to-many or many-to-many, you have to see both the directions. Don't stop with one direction. You have to see this direction as well as this direction. If either one of them is giving, if all of them are giving one-to-one, it's one-to-one relationship. If all of them are giving, if both the sides are giving one-to-many, then you can tell it's a many-to-many. So if both the sides are giving many-to-many, then you can say it's a many-to-many relationship. Okay. So if you get something like this, one and one and one and one, this kind of relationship is actually going to be a one-to-one relationship. If you get something like this, one-to-many like this and one-to-many like this, normally this is going to be a many-to-many relationship. If you get something like this, one to m and let's say one to one, these kind of scenarios, this is normally a one-to-many relationship. Okay, so looking at both the sides, you can make the final conclusion. Is that clear, all of you? So here in this table, when you compare patient table and appointment table, what is the type of relationship they have between them? Exactly, it's a one-to-many relationship. Okay, one-to-many relationship. Right, the next one. Write the type of relationship between the doctor table and patient table. Give reasons for it. Okay, doctor table and patient table. Let's see. Now, in this kind of scenario, you will have one small issue. You have to use a logics a bit in this kind of question. Okay. If you take doctor table and patient table, okay, can you find any records relevant to the doctor in the patient table? Any records relevant for the doctor? Can you find the patient table? No. Any records relevant to the patient? Can you find the doctor table? Again, no. So here you use a bit of logic. Okay. Let's do like this. If you take one doctor can consult one patient or many patients. If you take a specific doctor, can he consult only one patient or many patients based on the whole scenario? Tell me. Actually, they are given that in this top part. One doctor can consult many patients. Fine. If you take one specific patient, can one specific patient go only to one doctor or can one patient go to many doctors? If you take a specific patient, can they get advice only from one doctor or can a patient get advice from many doctors? Exactly. They can get from many doctors. Then you make the conclusion. 1 and m is going to be m, 1 and m is going to be m. So based on this, tell me between doctors and patient, what is the type of relationship we have? Exactly. It's a many to many relationship. One thing you got to keep in your mind is many to many relationship we can't do only using two tables. Always in many to many relationship, we need the help of a third table. Actually, if you see, there's a table called appointment table created, right? The purpose of the appointment table is actually to connect the doctor and patients together. So keep in mind, always many to many relationship, you can't do in between two tables. You need the help of a third table, right? So that's why we have the appointment table there. So if you see the doctor and patient, they have a many to many relationship. Is that clear, all of you? Was, was that clear, all of you? Okay, the next one. Reasons are asked in the question. Ah, sorry, wait. Actually, if you, for the reason, if you draw this, you can mention. But for the reason, you can mention this. A patient can consult one or more doctor, and a doctor can advise one or more patient. This is a reason. This you can just copy down the questions part itself. For reason, you can mention this. A patient, as the question, or you can mention as the question has mentioned, a patient can consult one or more doctor, and a doctor can advise one or more patients. You can write it as a reason. Clear? Okay, perfect. Next, booked for consultation with doctor. Jude on 14 July 2023 for Tisan, 2 years old child. Fine. First of all, is there a doctor called Jude in our system? In our database, sorry, in our database, do we have any doctors called Jude? Yes, we already have a doctor called Jude. You can see a Jude is actually a doctor that is already there in our system. Fine. Next, the next person they're talking is about whom? The next person they're talking about Tisan. Do we have a patient called Tisan in our system based on the given data? No. So based on that, tell me what is the table I have to update to include a patient called Tisan? Exactly. I have to update the patient table to include someone called Tisan. Okay. So one of the tables I have to update is basically the patient table. Okay. One of the tables I have to update the patient table to include the person called Tisan. Fine. Next, apart from patient table, now here they are telling that they have booked a consultation. They have booked the Tisan for the 2 years old Tisan. He has booked a consultation on 14 July, blah, blah, blah. Okay. To show that Tisan had booked a what do you call appointment with doctor called Jade on this specific date, what is the table I had to update to show that Tisan had made an appointment with this specific doctor on this specific date? What the table I have to update? Exactly. And update the appointment table. So apart from the patient table, even the appointment table has to get updated. So the first question is asking the tables that has to get updated. So it's patient table and appointment table. Is that clear? Appointment table. Right. The next one. So this is going to be the answer for A. Now B, they are saying to write the updated records. Okay. First of all, let's update the patient table. I had to create a new patient. So let me write the answer of that. I don't have space. So I'm going to write it down here. First of all, I will update the patient table. So I'm going to write first of all the table name, which I'm going to update. So I'm writing here patient table. And in brackets, I'm going to mention the changes or the update I had to do in the patient tables as per the field's correct order. Okay. In the patient table, the first field has a patient number. Tell me, suggest me a suitable patient number I can give for Tisan. Tisan, right? Sorry, Tisan. Yeah, Tisan. Tell me a suitable patient number I can give. Yes. The last patient we have is P4, so we can suggest P5 as a next. Okay. So I'm going to give the patient number as P5. And then the second field contains the patient's name. So what is the patient's name here? Exactly. The patient's name here is Tisan. And then if you take the patient's table, the third field contains the patient's age. So what is the patient's age? Yes, the question has mentioned Tisan is how many years old? 2 years old. Right. The next field contains the patient's address. Okay, like the place where he's from. Based on the given data, tell me, have they mentioned where this patient is from? Like the patient's area? No, they have not mentioned. Look at this question, they have not mentioned. Normally, in these kind of scenarios, when they have not mentioned the patient's, if any data is missing, primary key means you can guess and right. For in case, yes. But apart from that, if any other data are not missing, what you can do is you can write the word called null here. Okay. Null means no value. Normally in database, when you don't have a value for something, we use this term called null. Null is not doesn't have any values. Okay, so you can go and mention there as null. Don't keep it blank. Always make sure you mention null. Is that clear, all of you? So I'm saying to update the patient table in such. Is that clear, all of you? Perfect. So apart from the patient table, I have to also update the appointment table. So I'm going to write here the appointment table here. In the appointment table, the first record is going to have the doctor number. What is the doctor number for the doctor called Jude? What is doctor the Jude doctor's patient doctor number? Exactly. That's going to be D3. So I'm going to write here D3. And then second column in the Okay, so that's appointment table. First field is going to have the doctor number. Second is the patient number. So what is the patient number for Tisan? What's going to be Tisan's patient number? Exactly. We gave the patient number for Tisan as P5. So I'm going to write here as P5. The next column in the appointment table has a date. So what is the date the appointment is made for? So what is the date the appointment is made for? Exactly. It's made for 14th July 2020. So you can mention that like this. If you want, you can draw the whole table with all these columns and all. But rather than drawing that, actually mentioning the answer like this is more easy. Mention the table name and each field's value. Table name and each field's value. Is that clear, all of you? Right. The next one. The patient number of the patient Shamir is changed to P5. Write the tables to be updated for this. One thing, the question number 7 is a bit stupid. Okay. Normally, a primary key will never change in a table. Okay. If you take a real world scenario and all, a primary key will never change. If it's changing, that's we don't consider it as a primary key. Right. So here they have mentioned about the Shamir is what do you call patient number being changed. Normally it doesn't get changed, but they're saying that they're going to change it, it seems. So if you're going to change it, what is the table that has to change? Yesterday, I will change the patient number of Shamir to P5. So, what are the tables you have to change? Is it only the patient table? No, I wrote null because that value is not given. We don't know the value. So, null means like no value, something like that. Exactly. Apart from patient table, we should also update the appointment table because why? Relevant to Shamir, basically relevant to P2. Now, at the moment, Shamir is P2. No, relevant to P2, you can see there are certain records. So we have to change these records as well. Okay, and also we have to change the Tisan's ID as well. Okay, so based on that, actually, the patient table also has to get updated. The appointment table also has to get updated. So answer for this question you have to mention patient table and appointment table and appointment table. Both the tables has to get updated. Is that clear, all of you? Actually, that's the last part of the spreadsheet database question. So, do you all understand the whole spread database question? Perfect. Okay, so we're done with two questions. Easy, easy, easy. Programming. Let's go for programming. Okay. For the first term test, I was getting STLC lesson. I mean the grade 11 second lesson. Those who are doing the first term test, I'm not sure. I will getting the second the STLC lesson, the grade 11 second lesson. Ah, yes. Okay. I'm going to give you all 5 minutes. Okay. There's actually six questions here. You can easily find out the answer. Or give you 6 minutes. Okay. Figure out actually if you, I mean, the answer for the first one is easy. And the second one, right, two possible or this is explanatory answer, but you can figure out this as well. Right. This is very easy. Very easy. Very easy. Very easy. Okay. I'll give you all 5 minutes. Actually, for the second one, you have write an elaborative answer. Others all are direct answers. I'll give you 5 minutes. Try doing this question alone regarding STLs, yeah, and I'll discuss. At school, we still didn't finish the first lesson. Ayyo, why are they so slow? I mean, at least algorithm should have been finished. Maybe Pascal they won't have finished, but algorithm they should have finished. That means the flow pseudocode and flowchart. It's 5:55. I'll give you time till 6 o'clock. Try doing this question. I'll be back in a while. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. Is a recorder provided? Yes, recording will be provided. I'll be dropping the recording in the Master IT WhatsApp channel. But anyways, I'll give you 5 minutes. Quickly do this question. You can send me your answer for question number 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all direct answers. Roman number 2 is explanatory answers. So what do you call? You can, if you want, you can mention them as well. Find the answer for the 6 questions and send me your answer in the chat. Let's see if you can do it alone. This is regarding the grade 11 second lesson. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, some have sent me the answers. Good. This is one of the easiest lesson. I don't tell that you know the answers for this. By the way, if you all have seen that post, you all might know there will be other seminars as well apart from mine. I think tomorrow there will be a literature seminar. But my phone is 2% because of this charging. Yeah, so what I was saying is there will be a literature seminar tomorrow, and there will be other seminars following up as well. You can join them as well. They will not be term test oriented. They are, I think, a lesson oriented. You already seen that post, that yellow color post over there. Okay, time up. So let me discuss the answers. Will the link sent to the group? It will be sent in the academy channel. Okay, Master Academy channel. I will share in the group as well. Don't worry. The next one. Write the basic elements of a system. So yeah, if you all know, a system has three basic elements that are they take in inputs, and then they process those inputs and they give out outputs, right? So the three basic elements of a system are input, process, output. The number in the post is wrong. Yeah, it's the number in the post is wrong. It should have been 449. It's 949. It should have been 449. Okay, that's the mistake in the poster. Anyways, after we posted early, we noticed it. It's a Qatar person. That bug was calling and saying, "Who the hell are you? Why are you my number?" That bug had been scolding this lad. So, anyways, the management of an insurance company has decided to convert the existing manual customer registration and accounts related system to a computer-based system. Right, to possible advantage to insurance company management. All right, so they're asking advantage of a computerized system. So in that case, you can mention a computerized system will have high accuracy, then high efficiency in retrieving data, high efficiency in retrieving data. Then you could also mention more secured. If you mention less space directly, it's not a suitable answer. You mention less physical space required. Less physical space required. So if you just mention less space, that's not a suitable answer. So just mention less physical space, right? And then apart from that, you can mention about yeah, you can mention other more suitable ones as well. These are four suitable answers. I'm teaching. Teaching? Yes. Okay, the next one. Write to information gathering methods that can be used to identify the requirements of a new system. Okay, to identify requirements, some of the things we call. I gave a name for this identifying requirements. This whole process, I gave a name for that. What was the name I gave? If I was there in the class, I gave a name for this. Identify requirements, there was a name for that. What do you call this? Some kind of a technique. What technique? Correct. Another name for identify requirements is called fact-finding technique. Sometimes in the paper, they might use this word, okay? Fact-finding technique. So keep in mind, fact-finding technique and identifying requirements method are both the same idea, okay? So to find the requirements of a system, some of the methods you could follow are observation. That is observing the existing system to find their requirement, or observing the what you call current office to see what are the transactions process they are following. Then we can also give interviews. We can interview the client, okay, interview our insurance company staffs and all those stuffs and see their requirements. Then we can give them questionnaires, like question answer papers, okay? So questionnaires. And then apart from that, we can also, what do you call, collect some sample documents. So sample document collection. For example, We can collect, let's say if you want to manage invoices, we can collect their ledgers again and see how do they normally record invoices, like kind of stuffs. You can collect sample document collection. And the next one is prototyping. Prototyping is like you create a dummy version of the system, or else sometimes you might use an existing prototype. You might use like an existing similar system, and by showing that, you might be able to ask the users their what do you call requirements. So these are some of the ways you can identify the requirements. The next one, given the testing procedure, order of the testing used in testing phase. Okay, so if you take the if you take the testing, we normally start with unit testing. After we are done with unit testing, we go for the integration testing. And once we're done with integration testing, the next step we go is for the system testing. And once we're done with system testing, we might go for the acceptance testing. Right? So these are the steps in testing. The next one, write two differences between parallel implementation and pilot implementation. If you take parallel implementation, here the old system and the new system both will be used simultaneously. Okay, in parallel implementation, old and new, both system will be in use simultaneously in parallel deployment or in parallel implementation. But can you see this in a pilot deployment or in parallel implementation? Will both and old and new, both will both the systems be using parallelly? No. Okay. Then in pilot deployment, one of the things you might notice is you can mention in pilot deployment, only a selected group of audience or selected group of people, only a selected group of people will be using the system, once deployed. But in parallel, all users will be able to use it. Okay. So one I have talked about in parallel deployment, what do you call the old and new both will be in use. And second one I have talked about in pilot deployment, only a selected group can be using, but in parallel, everyone will be able to use when it's after it's deployed. Is that clear up there? And next one, what is a suitable system development sci-fi model that improve the system through iteration until the system is fully developed? So you all have learned two models, the waterfall model and iterative incremental model. In iterative incremental model only, you're going to actually improve the systems in iteration. So iterative incremental model. So these questions are solely based on the STLC lesson. Okay. Look at all these questions and tell me, did you all understand all these answers? Yes or no? Are you all clear with all of them? Yes or no? Is there any questions you have clarifications in your before that? Tell me. I will clear all of them. Have you started Pascal? When is online lesson Pascal? Pascal was finished long time back. We have finished the second lesson also. We are currently in the third lesson. We'll be finishing the third lesson next week or the week after. The sixth question again. If you take what do you call SDLC models, there are two models. One is called a waterfall model, and one is called the iterative incremental model. In waterfall model, we will not be building the system piece by piece. That means, for example, imagine we are going to make WhatsApp. We will not first of all make the chat section, then do what do you call make the status section, then call system. We're not going to do piece by piece. We'll make sure that we have completed the full application. Then only we'll release it to the public. That's like waterfall model. In iterative incremental model, it doesn't go like that. Iterative increment model, it goes piece by piece. Okay. So first of all, you might make the, what do you call, let's say chat section, and you might release a chat section. So users will be able to chat in WhatsApp. Then you might make the call section. Now users can chat as well as call, both. The third version, like the third update, you might give chat, call, as well as what do you call status. So likewise, instead of releasing the application at once, you'll be releasing it piece by piece, phase by phase. That is how the iterative incremental model works. Is the iterative increment model known as agile model as well? It's a kind of agile. Agile has more advanced stuffs as well. Normally, if you take agile is one, in industry we use, but yeah. What is the first model? It's normally waterfall model. There are several models. Even though you all have learned only two, there are several models. Is that clear, Oscar? Do we get to learn about the spiral model? No, you all learn only two models: waterfall model, iterative incremental model. I have sent the focus my contact number in the chat. So if you all want any class details or channel link, just ask to WhatsApp. Okay. Anyways, any questions regarding this STLC? Fine, perfect. Now let me come for this programming question. Will I be able to get the recording of this session since I got late to join? Yes, you can get. I'll be posting the recording in the WhatsApp channel. I'll send you all the WhatsApp channel link if you really want. Yes, that channel link. I'll search the channel link. Because in this WhatsApp don't have channel link, I guess. Okay, I know where to get it from here. Okay, thank you for sending it. Yeah, yeah. Just copy and paste. I'll just send the template message I sent for the class students. Okay, fine. Okay, let's do the what do you call flowchart question. The following flowchart will count and show only the number of even numbers. Okay, let's count only the number of even numbers. It seems number of even numbers when a user input any 10 numbers one at a time. Okay, so user is going to input any 10 numbers. It seems one at a time, and out of them, it will basically tell you the even numbers. Fine. Identify and write the appropriate values against the label A to F. Right. So first thing is you are what happens here is you're going to enter 10 numbers. For example, let's say you're entering 2, 7, 6, 9. It can be any 10 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, if you enter 10 numbers, what it will be doing is it will count the number of even numbers you have entered. So here, this is a even number, 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 this is a even number. So if you enter these as the 10 numbers, the output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's how the program is going to work. Before going to the flowchart, tell me, are you all clear of how the program is going to function based on the given scenario? It's going to take any random 10 numbers from the user and it will give the count of the number of even numbers. Perfect. Let's go this. Let's go through this now. Start. Count equals something, even count equals 0. So we can start using, let's say, count equals 1 and is count less than or equal to 10. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to repeat these instructions. That is, this instruction, all these instructions that is there here. I'm going to repeat this instruction again and again. That's why you can see the instruction again coming back to that condition. Okay. I'll be checking here is count less than or equal to 10. So I'm going to use the word 10. Okay. The reason is because first time when the repetition is happening, the value of count is going to be 1. Okay. And then I want this same instruction that is there inside. That is to get the number from the user and to check if the number is, or I'll explain the remaining statements in a while. Okay. I want to see the number of, I want to make sure that the instructions we have inside will be repeating 10 times because we want 10 numbers from the user. No? So to get, now if you notice here, we are getting the number from this instruction, input number. So basically whatever is there inside here, I want it to repeat 10 times. So what I'm going to do here is I have mentioned count equals 1. And when the value of count is 1, I'm going to repeat. Count is 2, I'm going to repeat. 3, when count is 4, when count is 5, when count is 6, when count is 7, when count is 8, when count is 9, and when count is 10, I'm going to repeat. Okay. Imagine the value of count is 11. And we're now going to go and check this condition. Is count less than or equal to 10? Will this give true or false? Imagine the value of count is now 11. And if you have this instruction called count is less than or equal to 10, will this give you true or will this give you false? Exactly, that's going to give you false, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the program in such that this instruction that is there inside will be repeated only when the value of count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you notice here, there are actually 10 different instances. Okay, there are 10 different instances, right? So when I have is count less than or equal to 10, so let's say we're starting in the beginning, initially count is 1. So if you have a count is less than or equal to 10, is 1 less than or equal to 10, that's going to give true. So we're going to go towards the yes side. So in yes, we have input number, fine. We're going to get a number from the user. Balance of n divided by 2. Actually, logic is stupid here, but fine. So you're going to check is the balance of n divided by 2. That is when you divide n by 2, is the remainder 0. Okay. When you divide n by 2, if the remainder is 0, then is it even or is it odd? When you divide a number by 2, if the remainder is 0, is the number even or is the number odd? Number is even. Okay. Now, if you notice this program, can you see there's a variable called even count? Can you see a variable called even count here? This part in the top pink color. An even count is a variable that's going to store the number of even numbers the user had entered. Now, for example, in my case, my example I showed you that I said 5 is there. Right? To store that like 5 can idea, it's going to store the even count. So what I'm going to do is you have a process E here. Now. In this process E, I'm going to write here saying even count is going to be equal to even count plus 1. Okay. So, and I'm going to say C is going to be yes and D is going to be no. So what's going to happen here is you're going to come and check this condition first. Okay. You're going to come and check the condition. Basically, when you divide the number by 2, is the balance equal to 0. Okay. If the balance is equal to 0, then only it's even. No. So when the balance is equal to 0, I'm saying to update the value of even count to increase the value of even count by 1. Nothing, I'm going to say directly to go for the next loop. Okay. To go for the next loop, I'm going to say here F is basically count equals count plus 1. So F is going to be count plus 1. Okay. Now this count plus 1, this instruction will be executed in both the scenarios. But I mean by both the scenarios is even if the instruction is, even if this condition, the balance in is there, even if it is false, you can see it's executing. Even if it is true, at the end of the day, again, it's coming back here. Okay. Now count equals count plus 1. That is a value that's going to, I mean, the count variable is mainly used so that we can make sure that these instructions are repeated 10 times. Okay. Now I said in the value of count is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The values of count is going to be changing actually using this specific instruction. The instruction we wrote here is that count equals count plus 1. That is a flow that's going to change the value of count in every repetition. Can't we just use a for loop for this question? In this question, are they asking us to write the pseudocode? No. In this question, are they asking us to write the flowchart? No. What are they asking us to do? They are asking us to fill in the blanks. So whenever you get a question, always, I tell this in the class as well, always answer what the question asks, not what's there in your head. So if the question asks to fill in the blanks, you just fill in the blanks. Simple. Okay. Anyways, the logic in this question is so stupid. You can't, and as per programming, there is no ways you can like directly, I mean, logically saying balance of n divided by 2 equals 0. That's not a suitable method. You have to use actually the word called mod and div. So technically speaking, there are certain, what you call, it's not a very precise program in terms of the logics mentioned. But again, based on the given data, if I'm going to do the question, what will happen is You have to consider the value of A being 1. You have to consider the value of B being 10. You have to consider C is going to be where? Yes. D is going to be no. E is going to be even count equals even count plus 1. And F is going to be count equals count plus 1. Is that clear, all of you? So based on this, now if you run the program now, what will happen is the instructions we have inside, that is these fellows, these buggers will be repeated 10 times. They will be repeated when the count is 0, count is 1, count is 2, count is 3. These times the count, that section will be repeated. And then once the value of count reaches 11, that will give false and you will be displaying the even count. How to determine E? Where is E? Okay, that is by looking at the program. At the end of the day, you had notice here. Okay, at the end of the day, you had notice here. They have mentioned here called display even count. And initially they have mentioned even count equals 0. So from this, you have to get an idea. All right, even count is going to be the variable that's going to store the even number of times we are getting even number. If you look at the program, if you notice here, this is the part where we're going to check. This is the condition we're going to check. Is the number even or odd? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I put here yes to make sure that if it's even, then I'm saying to increase the value of this even count. Okay, so the value, this variable called even count is going to store the number of times we got an even number. So that's what made me determine that. Got it? If it is odd, then it will update the value of count directly. This is normal count, not even count, general count. Now, there's a variable called count and there's another variable called even count. So if it is odd, it will only increase the value of count. If it is even, it will increase the value of even count as well as count both. You can see both are coming to the blue color statement. Any other questions anyone have here? Any other questions? Okay, so always I like I tell in the class, programming is where you become perfect in programming by doing several questions. So try doing several questions. These are nothing that actually comes but yeah, we can come for grade 10 also. Yeah, y'all can come for grade 10 as well, but grade 10 is going to be very easy because those are the first three lessons, I guess, right? That'll be at same Zoom link. I'll not be ending the meeting. The meeting will be going on. But anyways, I'll okay the programming questions. I mean this part. Can't we change yes and no? If you interchange yes and no, what will happen is you will not be counting the number of even numbers you're getting. You will be counting the number of odd numbers you're getting. Is that clear? Because balance of n divided by 2 equals 0, you're basically checking is a number an even number. So only if the number is even, you have to increase the value of even count. Got it, Mario? Okay. Anyone having any other questions here? Right. Let's go for the next one. Write an algorithm to calculate the area of a circle using pseudocode or flowchart. Symbols should be clearly displayed. Assume that the radius of the circle, okay, so you are writing an algorithm basically to calculate the area of a circle, it seems. Fine. Assume that the radius of the circle is given as an input. Okay, so you have to ask the user to enter the radius, it seems. Area should be predicted and displayed only if this input is an integer. Okay, so only if the user enters a number, you're actually what do you call display it seems. Otherwise, an algorithm must be terminated. Fine. Let's write the answer. Area of the circle. Okay, fine. So let me write the answer. Do I have space here down? Yeah, I'll write the answer down. So let me take the answer down. Okay. Always we start the algorithm normally a pseudocode. I'm going to go with pseudocode because that's very easy because the question has given us the freedom to choose both pseudocode and flowchart. Okay. So I'm going to go with pseudocode. Always we start pseudocode with begin. So I'm going to write here begin. The question says that we have to get the user input from the user. So I'm going to radius from the user. So I'm going to mention here the first instruction as input radius. Okay. Normally, if you take a circle, will the radius of a circle, can the radius of a circle be 0? No. Can this radius of a circle be less than 0? I mean, a negative number? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a condition here. If radius is greater than 0, okay, if radius is greater than 0. So normally if a user goes and enters a letter here, or if a user enters anything apart from a number, obviously this condition is going to give you false. Okay. The reason I'm using this condition is because the question has mentioned here part saying if the user enters what you call yeah, see, area should be predicted only if the user enters an integer. That means a whole number. If a user does not enter a whole number, you should not what do you call, you should not find the area key they have mentioned here, right? So to make sure it's an integer, what I'm doing here is I'm just checking if the radius is greater than 0. Okay, if it's greater than 0. But if it is 1.5, good question. So 1.5 is not an integer actually. It's actually not a whole number. It's a decimal number. The thing is, the only way you could do it is you could divide that number. You could divide that number by to find if it's a whole number or not. There are different methods, but the most suitable method is, let's say, you can multiply it by no, I'm going to keep it aside. But indirectly, here what they're talking about integers, they are indirectly meaning about number. Okay, because normally in pseudocode, we don't deal with data types. Or no, in pseudocode, we learn data types only under flowchart, say under Pascal. And I told you from program to program, the data type will change. The meaning of data types change, right? So because of that, here we are going to consider integer basically as a number. Okay, not as a whole number. We are going to just consider number. That's why I say took here if radius is greater than 0. So if radius is greater than 0, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the area. So then I'll be like, then area is going to be equal to, they give, wait, I don't have to mention the colon. I can, because pseudocode I can directly mention. Here they have given you how to find the area. That's basically radius 3.14 radius into radius. So I'm going to mention area is equal to 3.14 into radius into radius. Instead of mentioning star, can I mention x? No, because there is no operator called x. The only operator we have in terms of multiplication is star. So after I find the radius, I can here display saying display area. So this will display the value of the area we find. Now I'm going to add the else part. Else means if this condition is going to give you false. Okay, the condition means I'm talking about this condition. Huh? Okay, if the condition is false, I'm going to display a message saying display enter a valid integer. Okay, so if a user does not enter a proper number, or let's say a letter he entered, or he entered another character, anyways this condition is going to give you false. So in that case, I'm going to, if it gives me false, I'm going to display a message, error message saying display a valid integer, and I'm going to close the if statement, and I'm going to end the program. Okay, formatting is not important. That means this, the way I have written is not important, but always have the habit of writing in the correct format, because if you write in the correct format, there is less chance that you will make things go wrong. Okay, so you can see here I'm asking the user to enter the radius. I'm checking if the radius is greater than 0. That is to make sure that the number is, user enters a number, because if a user enters a letter, user enters a character or anything else, this condition is going to give me false, right? And what do you call, I'm finding the area and displaying the area back. Is that clear, all of you? Did you all get the idea of this whole program? Yes or no? Any questions here? What are the lessons we'll be covering in the grade 10 seminar? First three lessons. I mean, that's again going to be the first term paper. Normally, first term paper in grade 10 contains the first three lessons. I didn't actually, to be honest, I did not check the paper before starting. Like, for example, I just selected the paper which I'm going to discuss, but I did not, this one. Is it end before end? This is called end if. End if. That is, I'm ending of the if statement. End if is one word, okay? Not two different words. Right, perfect. So we have covered total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. I told you I'll be doing only 4 questions. I have done actually 5 questions. Okay, the only question I have skipped is basically regarding some easy ones like PowerPoint and Logic gating basic stuff. So you just have to draw the truth table and Boolean expression killer. Not anything is there. And here also some just basic stuffs. Okay, like advantage of grade 10 first lesson. Advantage of e-banking, what do you call this, like theoretical stuffs. Nothing hard. If you all want, I can give you all the answer for this question, because again, others also theoretical stuffs. This has a bit of logics. If you all can stay, because now it's 6:28. If you all can give me a couple of minutes, I can even do this, like around 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Do you want me to discuss this, or do you want me to stop from here? What do you want me to do? I'm okay with anything. Continue. Okay. So let's continue. Right. A and B are logic inputs in the logic circuit given below. Write the logical expression for the output of this logical circuit. Okay. To find the output, first of all, let's go step by step. Let's go gate by gate. We have here a NOT gate. Okay, we have here a NOT gate. For this NOT gate, the input is A. If the input of the NOT gate is A, the output will be A dash. Okay, or some people call it as A bar, but I'm going to call it as A dash. Okay. Then we have another input from the bottom for the NOT gate, and that's going to be B. So if input is B, this is going to be B dash. Okay. Always to determine the output, you have to know the input. Without knowing the input, you can't determine the output. Then to see the final output, here, first of all, you write all the inputs we have, right? So for this, actually, this is called the OR gate. Okay. If you take this OR gate, the input we are getting from the top is called A dash. Keep a space and write the next input. The next input we have is B dash. Okay. After you write the input, in between you can write the symbol for the gate. If it's OR gate, now this is OR gate. No, for OR gate, what is the symbol we use? Exactly. For OR gate, the symbol we use is going to be plus. So keep in your mind, for AND gate, we use a dot, sometimes no symbol. For OR gate, we use plus. For NAND gate, that's opposite of AND gate, we use a dot as well as whole thing dash. For NOR gate, we use a plus as well as whole thing dash. For NOT gate, we just use the whole thing dash. It's right. Okay, these are symbols you have to know. So overall, if you see the answer for this question, that's going to be A dash plus B dash. Is that clear, all of you? Won't they give NAND or NOR gate in the end of a circuit? If they want, they will give. That's their wish. In this question, it's an OR gate. Right, the next one. Construct a truth table for the logical expression you wrote above. Okay. To draw the truth table, first of all, you should know the inputs. What are the inputs we have for the circuit? What are the inputs we have for the circuit? It's A and B. So I'm going to have one column for A and another column for B. Right. First of all, each input one column. Then for each of these each of the outputs one column. So you can see the top NOT gate, that this NOT gate we have here, that's going to give output called A dash. The NOT gate we have here, that's going to give output called B dash. So I'm going to write another column called B dash. And then this OR gate has output of A dash plus B dash. So I'm going to write here A dash plus B dash. I'm going to fill this truth table. Again, like I said earlier, if there's two inputs, how many combinations can there be using two inputs? Now, only A and B are the inputs here. So using two inputs, how many combinations there could be? There could be four combinations. So it's going to be, you can start at the right side corner input and write 0, 1, 0, 1. Go for the next input and double it. Okay. So A and B are the only inputs. A dash, B dash, A plus B, they are all outputs. Okay. If you put B first and then if you put A, will the final values change? No. As long as you can swap it, but you have to make sure that all these rows are unique. You can see all are unique. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. None of these rows are repeating. Okay. All of these rows should be unique. Fine. Then let's start filling the outputs. A dash is opposite of A. So if 0 is here, this is going to be 1. If 0 is here, this is going to be 1. If 1 is here, this is going to be 0. And here it's going to be 0, opposite of the A column. B dash is opposite of B column. If you have B as 0, this is going to be 1. If B is 1, this is going to be 0. If B is 0, this is going to be 1. If B is 1, this is going to be 0. Then A dash plus B. Sorry, A dash plus B dash. For A dash plus B dash, you have to compare this A dash column with the B dash column using the OR gates logic. Okay, so 1 plus 1 will give you 1. 1 plus 0, again 1. 0 plus 1, again 1. 0 plus 0, what will the OR gate give you? Exactly. The OR gate is going to give you 0. So the truth table is something like this. For the second question, the truth table is something like this. Is that clear, all of you? Perfect. The next one, Roman number 3. Find and write a logic gate equivalent to the above circuit from the truth table. Right. Tell me, what's the other name for the truth table? Truth table has only one name. Dry run is what we use in, not in logic gates. Dry run is what we use in programming. That's completely different. Okay, the next one. They're asking us what is another gate that will give you the similar output. Okay. Now, if the both the inputs are zero, you can see A and B are the inputs. If both the inputs are zero and output is one, if you take OR gate, will you get this kind of scenario where when both the inputs are zero, outputs are one? Will this be there in OR gate? No. If you take AND gate, will that be there? In AND gate, will that happen? No. If you take NOT gate, can NOT gate have two inputs at once? So obviously it's no. Next, if you take NAND gate is opposite of AND gate. No. In NAND gate, when both the inputs are zero, will the output be one? Yes, NAND is opposite of AND gate. No. So yes. In NOR gate, when both the inputs are zero, will the output be one? Yes. Okay. Now you should figure out, is it NAND gate or NOR gate? It should be one of them only, most probably one of them. So let's see. Now at the moment I tried with 0 and 0. No. Now let me take a next input. For example, 0 and 1. Okay. Now if imagine I have one of the input as 0, other input as 1. Okay. If it was an AND gate, what will be the output? NAND gate is opposite of AND gate. NOR gate is opposite of NOR gate. NAND is opposite of AND. NOR is opposite of OR. Tell me if it's an AND gate, 0 and 1 is going to give you 1. So based on that, NAND gate will give you, sorry, 0. NAND gate will give you, NAND is opposite of AND gate. So NAND gate should give you 1. If it is a second scenario, are we getting 1? Yes. So based on that, we can say, okay, NAND gate is pass here. Now let's check with OR gate. Okay. If you take OR gate, 0 and 1 as input, OR gate, what will be the result? If the inputs are 0 and 1, OR gate, what will give you? OR gate will give you 1. And NOR gate will give you 0. So are we getting 0 here? When input is 0 and 1? No. So NOR gate is wrong. So based on that, now you can make the final conclusion. The gate that is similar to the truth table we have here is a NAND gate. Okay, if you draw the full gate also, you'll be getting a similar truth table. But again, I will clear of how I found the answer here as NAND gate. Perfect. The next question. Which basic logic gates are formed together with the logic gate identified in question B3? Okay, to form the NAND gate, what are the two gates we combine normally? Exactly. We combine the AND gate and NOT gate. AND gate and the NOT gate. Okay. For example, if I have here the AND gates A and B, if I pass this to the NOT gate, okay, this is similar to basically getting A and B and passing this to the NAND gate directly. Okay, this is how the NAND gate will look like. Is that clear, all of you? So yeah, with that, we're done with the logic gate question as well. So other both are theoretical question. I'll share all the paper as well. Okay. This is actually a Hindi college paper. If I'm not wrong, this is the last year Hindi college paper. It's kind of standard. It's not easy. It's not hard. For me, it looks like a standard paper. Technically, it's easy only obviously for me, but I'm doing for your level. For your level, it looks like a standard paper. Do 4A. I did 4A. You mean 4A, this one? This is basic stuff and presentation stuffs. Okay, if you want, I can do it. Select the correct terms given below within the brackets to fill in the blah blah blah. User can view dash as a presentation when click F5 function key in the computer keyboard. Slide animation, slide layout, slide show, slide slow. This is computer shortcuts. Shortcut key control plus M creates a control plus M. It creates a new slide, as I can remember. These are shortcuts. Okay. One layout of the slide can change to another in the presentation software by using the one layout of the slide can change to another in the presentation. One layout means what you can see is it slide transition, because one layout of slide can change to another. Yeah, it should be transition, because transition you in transition you change from you go from one slide to another slide. Okay, animation is in the same slide itself you can do, not two slides. When I'm saying you can change to another, one layout of the slide can wait. One layout to another layout. Sorry, they are talking about the layout. No, there are multiple layouts. For example, one layout is title only layout. One layout is title and caption, those layouts. So you can change the layouts using slide layout tool. Sorry, I forgot that they're talking about the layout. It's called slide layout. And then location of the slide may change by using a tool dash in presentation. You can do change that using slide sorter. Slide sorter, what you have on the left side in slides, we will show all the slides. Okay, the slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, left side will show. You can drag and move them up and down. Slide sorter. Effects of transition from one frame to next frame during a slideshow. Okay, if you're going to go from one frame to another frame in a slideshow, that's called slide transition. Oh wait, effects of transition. Transition. Effects of transition is basically slide transition. So these are the answers. These are basic presentation questions. Is it the TV icon for slide transition? No, that is this kind of icon is to start the projector view. Your bro is shouting. Not bro means patient who's shouting. There is a very dispensary here in the next room. I'm just a couple of distance away. So you might even be able to hear babies and all these patients shouting. Anyways, fine. Hey, actually, we have completed everything except this boring fifth question. If you want, I can do that as well. But I have to start the grade 10 seminar while for that to go and pray Mario as well. But anyways, you can try doing this. It's easy. Two advantage using robots saves time, saves money. Sorry, no, it doesn't save money. Save time, say and more efficient. Then usage of e-banking in the current with two examples. So you can use the e-banking system to check your account balance. You can transfer funds. And example for e-banking, you can say commercial bank flash, Sampath Vishwa, you can mention Combank Digital, you can mention any of them. Explain one advantage and a disadvantage of online shopping. Advantage is it saves time and you can shop anywhere from any time. Disadvantage of online shopping is there could be scams or fraud, like people can cheat you. Disadvantage. Next, give to disadvantage of using facilities of ICT. To disadvantage in one thing, what do you call addiction? Okay, you can get addicted to certain stuffs. Apart from addiction, you can get certain health issues when you're overusing. So you can mention them as well. So this is basically regarding grade 10 first lesson. But yeah, overall, we have completed all the questions in that case. Wow, not bad. We can join the grade 10 also. Yeah, the meeting will be on as it is. Actually, I'll be keeping a small gap. I'll be offing and on in the recording, but the meeting will be going on same. I'll not be ending the meeting. If you have any questions, clarification, you can drop in the chat. Others, if you understand, actually, we complete the whole paper, not bad. If you have any questions, you can stay and ask. And if you want, you can go and come back at 7 o'clock. We'll be starting the grade 10. Not compulsory the grade 10 for you all, but if you all want, you can stay. I'll share this PDF and recording all of those stuff tonight. That means after all the seminars over, tonight I'll share in the channel. Okay. Any questions you'll have based on what we learned today? Yes, I will send you the filled version of this paper and non-filled version of this paper, everything. How to get the grade? This is the grade 10 link, same link only. The same meeting will be going on. When is the oral paper class starting? Oral paper class already started. It's happening on every Mondays. I started 2 or 3 weeks back. Every Mondays from 6 p.m. to 7:30. Currently, we are discussing programming questions. We'll be finishing programming questions probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks. And then we'll be going for mixed questions. Because lesson wise, I normally do in the class. Only programming question I'm doing as lesson in the paper class. The reason is because it has several questions. how to join fees. It's completely free. You can drop me a WhatsApp message on that. Can I get the link to join the channel? Yeah, I'll join. I'll send the chat. Check it. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. Others or can particular if you want to go back can come for the grade 10 session. Or if you want, I can leave as well. Your wish. What is free? The paper class is free. It's free until your levels. I mean, basically, it's completely free. That'll happen every Mondays. If you want join. Online, yes, only online. Anyways, how was the seminar? I actually should have sent you all an anonymous review form, but I did not have time to make it. When is the class? Grade 11 is on Tuesdays, online class. Okay, grade 11 is on Tuesdays, grade 10 is on Thursdays. Drop me WhatsApp message, I'll send you the details. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to pray and come. If I have any questions, or can let me know. Others, if I want to stay for grade 10 as well, or can stay. Okay, cool. Which lesson is going on in the grade 10 theory class? Grade 10, we are finishing the third lesson, probably. Grade 10 was the third lesson only. We'll be finishing the third lesson probably, I think, next week, inshallah. Let's see. Next week or the week after. Where the latter part of the third lesson. Number conversion all are done. Only that, what do you call, data storage part and small